Here.
Rick Flynn.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
David Bell.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here.
Lou Allen.
Here.
You all please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Gracious God, we come before you to thank you for your presence here tonight for the session of the Carl Junction Board of Alderman. We give you all the glory and the honor, acknowledge you as our creator and provider of all things. You know all things, and we humbly ask for your wisdom, God. As we begin this meeting, we ask that you would guide us and our thoughts and our actions so that we may guide and direct our community. It's in your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is the approval of the agenda. Are there comments, corrections, changes to the agenda as typed?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda. Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by David Pyle to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, the agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is the approval of the previous minutes of 12/19/23 and approval of disbursements. Are there any comments or corrections or questions about the consent agenda?
If we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Rick Flynn to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, the consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wish to speak at public forum? I see we don't have a lot of people that want to speak tonight, so last call for public forum. Okay, we'll move right along to ordinances. Next is an ordinance approving change order number 4 with R.E. Smith Construction Company.
I move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Roger Spencer to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 4 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and R.E. Smith Construction Company to construct the Carl Junction Park Shelter, Playground, and associated site improvements for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 4 being to reallocate the savings from change orders 2 and 3 of $31,231 to increase the playground allowance from $100,000 to $131,231 and raising the total cost of the project back to $664,000 and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 4 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion? Do you know when they'll have plans for the playground?
I do not.
I move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by David Powell to put this ordinance on the second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 4 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and R.E. Smith Construction Company to construct the Carl Junction Park Shelter, Playground, and associated site improvements for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 4 being to reallocate the savings from change orders 2 and 3 of $31,231 to increase the playground allowance from $100,000 to $131,231 and raising the total cost of the project back to $664,000 and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 4 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Make a motion to put this ordinance on final passage. I'll second.
Motion by David Pyle, second by Bill McGuire to put this ordinance on final passage. It's a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, please vote electronically. 8 in the affirmative, the ordinance passes, and that is ordinance number
2401.
2401. Very good. Next is the administration report. Any comments for the city administrator? It's got a lot of stuff on here in bold print, a lot of new stuff. And I assume that letter's part of your report.
Yeah, that was collaboration of Kenny and Elena. I don't know if you got involved in that. You did.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember who is.
Elena.
No, I did not.
Okay. Talking about the need for the growth and need for expansion of this building and how it's pretty tied up all the time. It seems like one of the other suggestions in there is attached is that these groups, these nonprofit groups that we currently don't charge them for usage is that we start charging them for the usage of it. That is anywhere from BYA, CJFC, up to United Way or homeschool group that uses it, that type of thing. And the fee that we came up with was just is still nominal, according to what we've got in there in my recommendation. But it just makes them accountable, and it makes them have a little bit of investment in how they treat it, how they use it. Makes them a little bit more responsible.
And the school and the chamber are exempt.
School and the chamber are still exempt. Yes.
You want to go?
I had a couple of questions. On the first one, because it talks about there the refund if it's less than 5 days or whatever. Is this whole thing refunded to them, or is just a portion of this refunded? Like it was a cleaning deposit, or?
We did not charge them a deposit on it. Where's the application? And it is 14 days. Anything, if it's shorter than that 14 days, there is no refund.
I had thought it said you had to reserve it 14 days in advance, and it was if it was less than 5, there was none. But
Canceled within, if it's canceled within 5,
then
there's no refund. If it's shorter than that 5 days.
Now, here's the other thing that I have. How do we determine, because it talks in there about the Lions Club and stuff, how do we determine what nonprofit has to pay and what nonprofit doesn't?
The only two that would not have to pay, like the mayor said, is the chamber and the school district.
And this is a gym.
This is for
It's
any
for
of the
everything.
rooms.
So the
And
Lions
the
Club's gonna
Lions
pay.
Club, no, because it says the Lions Club doesn't have to pay, right, for their monthly breakfast? And you don't have to pay for the holiday bazaar. If I read through that, I don't have it pulled up, but I thought those were the two. The chamber's exempt, the school's exempt, and the Lions Club for their monthly breakfast and the holiday
It does say
bazaar.
that, what nonprofit event samples would not apply this amendment for. That
Yeah.
was part of it.
And so that's why I don't understand how we can exempt those and not exempt. I agree, it's overcrowded, but I mean, we're gonna go to the Girl Scouts and tell them they have to pay $57 to have a meeting every other week or once a month, and then we don't, the Lions Club that's actually charging for it.
Oh, it's in Kenny's notes.
Very good point.
What he's doing to that, I see where he put that, but that form does not match that. And that's not what I had imagined it be either. Lions Club would be charged.
Go for it, Mike.
So when I was reading through this, it sounded like the key issue was the space. The fact that there's just the availability. You just mentioned more on the factor of accountability.
I mentioned both.
Right.
It is both. It is.
So, as far as the space, can we just say no? I saw Kenny blocked out, on Thursday evenings, a 3-hour open gym or something like that cannot be reserved. And so rather than trying to weed out some of the reservations by charging them so much, can't we just start saying this is open gym time and the gym cannot be reserved on those times and just start saying no?
We do that already.
But
So we
like
can say-
block out, like Monday evening, 3 hours, Thursday evening, 3 hours, and like Sunday afternoon, all day.
Cannot be
or
reserved.
something.
I feel like we're going to be seeing which group can afford to pay for this. And you mentioned nominal, but $100 per 3-hour event, and if BY currently, that's the gym 3 nights a week for a month. I mean, we're talking $3,000 they're going to be ponying up, where other organizations aren't going to be able to do that. And so whichever one has the deeper pockets is going to be the one that uses the gym. And I feel like maybe the answer is just continue to block out more space, like you're trying. That This is just when it can't be reserved.
Are there certain groups that are holding all the reservations or?
The non-payment groups? Yeah, there are. We host a homeschool athletic association, something GMCA. I'm not sure what it stands for, but and they block out 4 hours at a time of gym space that is prime space for when the after-school kids need something.
So it's not during the day, like during school hours?
It's afternoons.
How long they gotta go during the day? When other kids are in school?
It's 12 to 4. Is it 12 to 4?
Like 12.
I think it mentioned there that students start coming a little after 3, and so then they have to wait until 4. So we tell them you can reserve till 3. I think that's the start. Is just to start.
And I think
Thank you.
Kenny is working with some of those groups to adjust them more to the daytime when we don't have that much of a demand for it. But like Steve said too, we are having an issue with groups that reserve it very regularly that do not respect this space, that are leaving it a mess, that then our people have to spend 2 and 3 hours cleaning it back.
So who's that? The BYAA or?
BYA, it happens on weekends occasionally with them. I've had conversations with Girl Scouts. We've got a Girl Scout group that comes over, and I know Kenny's had conversations with them. They're probably the worst out of it. Anytime we have a really large event, whether it's the ball games on Saturday, whether it's the holiday bazaar, whatever it is, it takes a lot of extra time and effort to get it cleaned up and ready to go. Holiday bazaar, I have to be careful with. That's my wife, and I work it. The cleanup, and I always make sure that the kids are there helping with it. Sometimes when we have the breakfast and BYAA at the same time, that one time a month, the bathrooms get trashed. There's no doubt about it.
I'm kind of I understand the issues and the problem. We had this discussion how many years ago when I said I'd like to see times blocked off. So if people want to pick up basketball or grown-ups want to go out there. So I'm a big fan of blocking off a little more time. Like say, even if it's a couple of evenings a week and then Sunday afternoon or whatever, as far as respecting the property, I would think an easy solution would be if you trash it, you don't get to use it again. Like if Girl Scouts or whatever meet and they have been warned and they don't clean it up, then you've lost that privilege until you treat it, with respect.
Don't we still have the form? We talked about this months ago about a form that has to be checked off before they can leave.
Well, that doesn't get applied to these. It gets applied to the paid rentals.
Yeah, they.
We've never, because they don't, we do make sure that we get their insurance on an annual basis, that type of thing. They've
That's
never
not
done a
like a
form
birthday
like that.
party.
Right, but I'm saying they should, if they're going to use the facility, they should be held to the same standard as a paid person would. So at least get the cleanup checkoff sheet signed by someone before they leave.
So are there any rules for open gym? A couple of years ago, I had a problem because I had about 10 kids from Joplin that come over and open gym and hog the basketball court the entire time. And people were calling me and saying, "Mom, my kids won't try and shoot baskets." But these kids are there before they are, stay there the whole time and then leave.
Kenny has done a pretty good job of controlling that type of thing. If he starts getting several groups, he'll drop the curtain and he'll separate it and he'll make them run 2 half courts. He makes them be inclusive. You know, they've got to, like, they'll pay the 21 and then they got to swap out. You know,
Okay.
He's been pretty good about that.
Having Kenny back has significantly helped the amount of trouble we were having in the gym.
Yeah.
With kids.
Yeah.
He's good with them and good.
One of the first things he did when he came back was he bought pizza and had a sit down with a bunch of the kids. Said, no, you can't do this. Yes, you can do this. If you need something, come get me. He very good.
I came in one day right after school and they were acting like human beings.
I wouldn't mind seeing
It was really nice.
I gave him a tour.
a group have to put a deposit down if they were going to reserve this. All the groups that we have, the BYA, the Girl Scouts, start with a $250 deposit or something like that. You come in and this is a deposit that we're just going to hold indefinitely until you tell us that you no longer require this. But, and then if things get trashed and they're on the hook.
Did you pull from that deposit?
Sure, but I don't know if I like the recurring fee just by the hour. I don't know, I guess what the difference, but is a deposit.
So
I think, sorry, what Kyle was mentioning with the swimming pool, most municipalities just understand that there's going to be a cost of doing business. When you have a swimming pool and you're not going to make money out, there's going to be all these recurring fees. And I think it's the same with our facilities here. We have to understand that there's just a cost of doing business. I don't like the idea of trying to recoup too much of that from the groups that are going to use it. I understand there's a problem that needs to be addressed, and maybe that's the best way to address it. I don't know. I don't like it. So.
The other big thing on his report that I don't want overshadowed is, and we've talked about it, I even brought a contract to you guys. We can't ignore the fact that we don't have very many years left on paying for this bond issuance that pays for this building, and we do need to do an expansion to the building. And if we do not do something, when's that pay off, Elena? 2028. So we've got 4 years left. And if you work that calendar backwards a year before that, so 2027, we need to have a really good plan about whether you're going to go out for a bond issuance or not, and we need to be able to get that on the ballot. So if you get something on the ballot late 26, early 27, that way that bond issuance is available. We need to get a concept together. We need to get all that preliminary stuff together, which it will cost us money to get that put together. That's for sure.
You're talking like expanding the gym and adding on all that.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more expensive than it used to be,
Well,
Yeah.
especially with interest rates.
a couple of years ago, I know SAP did that. It's been probably a couple of years, right?
They did a conceptual for us. It's been about 10 years
10 years
now.
ago, yeah.
Well, but they
Sit
did,
down a year.
yeah.
She came over and we had that meeting. That was a couple of years ago. I have that contract.
yeah, where they gave us, it was kind of conceptual. I mean, they gave us
Yes.
ideas like on the family bathroom, the different kind of stuff that, as we move forward. I just wondered, as we get closer, maybe if they could use those and kind of just plug in
If
numbers at that time.
if we want to sign a contract with them, they will continue to do more work on it. But that was a freebie.
Anything else for the city administrator? If not, we'll move right along to department reports. Well, what about Public Works? Jay's here. On that deal in Deerfield, that isn't one that has a basket in it, is it? It is?
Yeah, it's played a long time. We was pulling it 3 or 4 times a month. And
All right.
I think it's just because we went into high float and a couple of rains. everything come down all at once.
So leaf's all done, huh?
Done.
All you gotta do is fix all the water stuff they break.
Yeah. Well, there you go. They only got one block to go. And then go down the highway.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
They're done with us,
The main line?
the main one.
You mean they didn't break nothing out in Osceola?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that.
Yeah, they got good by the time I got there.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close to pulling them in toward the houses over in Briarbrook now.
Yep, there's about on they're about in your area right now, working to the south.
Yeah, they're on that house right across from the clubhouse there. They just went across, did that today.
They asked me today about pouring underneath the road there in front of the clubhouse for the clubhouse. I said, well, you're gonna have to open that road up. Will you do that? And I said, no. No, I marked it. You do it.
Yep. Anything else for Jay, Public Works? Very well then.
One thing on
Yeah.
Public Works report, I got notification from DNR that now they're going to start instituting phosphorus levels in the wastewater treatment plant. We have 10 years to come in compliance though.
So that's fertilizer.
Wonder what brought that about.
They didn't have anything to do that.
Well, you've got two different styles of phosphorus. That's what it comes out to. And communities that have large industrial, they have more of a problem than what we do. We're still not in compliance with the standards that the EPA has set, but we're a whole lot closer to what Joplin will be. That's for sure. And it's an easy problem to take care of in the effluent. It's not like the zinc, so it's an easier problem to take care of.
Good. How about PD? Did you give us anything?
Do what?
Did you give us a report?
Yeah.
Oh,
It didn't
Stuck
go out
together,
right
sorry.
when she sent it. I got it to her after it sent out.
any questions for the PD?
So what's up with that Airbnb?
That's the first problems we know that they've had. It's just an unfortunate situation where they turn the leasing or whatever over to Airbnb as a company. So the homeowner does no vetting, has no bearing on who rents out their place or whatever. And just so happen because you don't keep track of your property and let somebody else do it, they don't care. So there's
So
no
just some
records.
out-of-town people just happen to rent it? And
Do what?
so just some out-of-town people happen to rent it?
Yeah, from Tulsa. Yeah, have no idea how they wound up here, but yeah.
Sorry.
Crazy.
Anything else for the chief? I guess we don't have building inspector report. Is that next time? And treasurer's report next time?
That's
What?
I guess in the middle of a remodel, so.
That's true. I heard that story last week.
She's a little frazzled.
All right. Next is committee reports. Budget and finance. Ladonna?
Well, first of all, I wanted to give a little more information. Mike Moss had asked in public forum the other day about the public safety sales tax. And I told him, about 85,000, which when we started it out, because it's partial year. So I can tell you in the first 11 months of this year, which I know that's a calendar year for the way they pay us out, we're on a different fiscal year. But in 11 months, it's almost 158,000. So probably we're looking about 165, 170. That is 2,000. So far, we're 2,000 less than it was at that date the year before, but we were down 8,700 from this November to last November. So I'm not sure why nobody spent money in November. But also, since tax collections have started, I wanted to go back and see, because we have one full year, now we're on our second year of the county collecting. So just from a budget standpoint, to show what we did, they have actually, for 2022 taxes, collected 103% of our assessments. And the way they do that is because there's some late fees or penalties and stuff that's assessed when you do late. So even paying them their 4%, that's like a 99% collection rate. So from a budget standpoint, it's going to be a lot better budgeting on our property taxes. Anyway, and we need to start budget meetings. So did the budget committee, did you have a chance to see, is there a certain day of the week that you can't meet, or?
I propose Mondays at 4:15.
Are the other members of the committee good with those? I mean, it's fine with me.
That'd be Rick and Bob.
I'm good with it.
Rick, does that work with your work schedule?
We're out in an hour. Which we never are.
We never are because budget. Is there any day other than Monday, Holly, that works for you?
What about Wednesday? Your church in the evening.
Wednesday's better.
It's good.
For like 4:15, that would still get you out, Rick, if it was a couple hours or whatever. I know there's just sometimes we try to do like 2 departments or.
I usually budget an hour for you. I'm sorry, for a budget.
Thank you, Rick.
No, just kidding. But Wednesday would be good.
Okay, so if Wednesdays would work, do we need to start these in 2 weeks?
First one in 2 weeks would be going over revenues. If you want to do one in 2 weeks.
Because normally we figure like at least 5 weeks, and then that way we've got some cushion in there if we have.
So you're talking 17th?
Starting on the 17th.
So I already have something at 5 on the 17th.
Rick,
Wednesday's kind of a church night.
has everybody met the highest maintenance member of our?
We started the week after, that would put us
The
through February 21st. That's 5 weeks. If we didn't start the 17th, but started.
24th should be fine then. Because that'll still give enough time to get through all those and you do it, and then we come back and look over the final before we present, right?
January 24th at 4:15.
Are you guys good with that?
Aye.
Rick?
Yes.
Okay, so January 24th, 4:15.
And then when will we get collection numbers for 2023?
They'll trickle in all year long.
Because I know probably everybody just paid their taxes right before the.
Well, in theory. But then again, if you don't have to get your car tags till August or September, there's people that will wait till August or September, so.
We get a disbursement every month. Yeah, that December will be,
The
the
big
one
one.
we get in January for December will be the big one, but we do get a disbursement every month.
I think these are higher collection rates than we had even hoped, so. I think that was, plus we don't have the expense of the mailing and the
Yes.
postage and everything. Anyways, that's all I have for budget now that we've set the meeting 3 times.
Okay, so any other questions for budget? Great. Code nuisance, Rick.
Nothing at this time.
Human resources, Roger.
No, we just have a closed session,
Okay.
all right?
Public facilities, Mike.
No, nothing, sir.
Economic development, Holly.
Yes, our first meeting with retail strategies is going to be this Thursday, the 4th at 2 p.m. It's going to be a quick 30-minute Zoom just to kind of like get acclimated and get introduced. Anybody's welcome to jump on that. If you want to get on it, just let me know. And Crystal and I will get the Zoom link out. 2 p.m. Thursday the 4th.
And it is a Zoom, so you can do it remotely.
I'll be in the doctor's office.
That's all for me.
All righty. Okay, then I guess we go along to unfinished business. David,
No, sir.
Bill,
No, sir.
Mike,
No, sir.
Donna,
Yes, sir.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Rick,
No, sir.
Bob,
Nothing, sir.
Ollie?
No.
Mr. Crowley, Elena,
No, sir.
Crystal, Steve,
One thing is you've got a couple of designs from AFCO for the Center Creek Park,
that's gonna, oh, this is Center Creek?
They
Says
say
Lakeside.
Lakeside Park, excuse
Yeah.
me.
Is this the
for
old, is this the $100,000 design?
This is a $130,000 design.
Well, I asked you a minute ago if they had anything.
No. It was $130,000.
So that's one with the add-on then.
Yes.
We do
We
have.
would not add more money onto that. This is the design that would be $130,000.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know earlier when I asked if we had anything from it.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
Okay, well, good.
And there's two different ones there. Crystal talked to him, I did not, so I'll let her. There's two theories behind each one of those designs.
Both of these qualify as ADA inclusive. One of them is a little more inclusive than the other, because you'll see more standalone things around the second one that makes it more inclusive. Whereas the first one is the structure, and then it has a couple of standalone things for like younger kids, but for the most part, it's the structure. And the structure itself doesn't have like the wheelchair ramp or anything like that on this. It still qualifies ADA wise, but the other one has more inclusivity as far as being able to do a little bit more. And there's a little wiggle room here. He just wanted to kind of give us an idea of the types of things that we can get for the 130.
Have we talked to other companies?
We have not, because this is going through R.E. Smith, and
Yeah,
that's
this
who
is
they,
who R.E. Smith is contracted. So,
So R.E. Smith is contracting through them?
no,
I mean, they're contracting through R.E. Smith.
yes.
So what if we want to use somebody different? Or what if somebody else could provide a design that we like better? I mean, we don't really have anything to compare other than one person.
That's the problem with a subcontractor, no matter what your project is.
They were the
The
low
contract.
bidder on the project, they got the contract.
So they
Was it-
did bid it out?
No.
Oh, I-
No, I mean, R.E. Smith did.
R.E. Smith can select whoever they want.
Yeah. They got the
They
bid
got
for the
the,
whole
they got the
project.
contract with it, and they get to pick whoever they want to work with.
I thought they had talked about when they were in here that they could do that, or we could get a hold of somebody because we knew what the allowance was going to be.
The original allowance is $100,000.
But now it's 130, but I mean, we still know what the allowance is, so that's why I don't understand why. We just have the one option if we know what the allowance is. Does R.E. Smith work with them all the time, or did we give them the name for AFCO?
No, they worked with them before. I can't tell you when it was, but Clint said, yeah, they knew who they were.
I was gonna say, so we suggested AFCO to them? Just seems like we
We-
get all our eggs in one basket. and
We
it's always
gave,
AFCO.
we gave them the preliminary design way back when and said, AFCO is the one that did this for us. That's as far as it went.
Is AFCO the same as landscape structures? Is that-
yes.
Yeah,
Do you know who the school used?
Depends on the project and which aspect of it. There've been several.
I guess personally, I just like having some options because we don't know that this is the best. We only look at one person.
Or not looking. Ari Smith's the one.
Yeah, it's Ari Smith's.
Ari
job.
Smith was looking.
That's like,
I understand.
that's like we give a contract to somebody to do something with our roads and they're gonna, and part of it's striping the roads. And now we want to tell them who to use to stripe the roads.
Well, my thing is, we gave them this stuff for AFCO. So we're the ones that told them not to.
We suggested that. They didn't have to go to AFCO. They can go to whoever they want to. They got $130,000 to spend on that.
The only thing I did was give them the preliminary design that AFCO had done for us when we did the application for the grant. That's it. If they wanted to go to somebody else, that's their job to do, not ours.
I think, I don't know, I don't want to speak for Clint and their company, but I'm sure that if you found something that you liked better and asked him to explore that, I'm sure he would. I don't know.
And I don't know. There may not be anything out there we like better, but we used AFCO as a single source and one other thing. I guess I thought that when it came time to the design, just like if you're building a house, like for instance, and you have a lighting allowance, you pick what you want within that allowance.
And that's what this is. You're picking what product you want from that allowance. You're picking the structures that you want for that allowance.
Sure, if you want to go out, have somebody else look at it, put them on hold again, do all that and see what the deal is. I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
Clint won't have a problem with it.
No.
If I would tell him if he could check with somebody else, he won't have a problem with
No.
that.
Well, that's what I'm
It's
saying. I
highly-
just think we need to check with more than
It's
one person.
highly irregular though.
This isn't like striping. This is like designing a playground, like giving different options. Like I say, if you stripe a road, it's striped. You're not gonna say, okay, I want the center stripe over on the left-hand side. I mean, it's,
You may want straight, you don't want a curvy like on Brevard Drive.
yeah, well, I wouldn't hire that person.
Well, we're,
I'm just saying, this is gonna be the second project we did without looking at anybody else.
So can we ask him? I mean, if he says no, that's what we picked, then great. Would it hurt his feelings if we asked?
all that stuff, yeah, you betcha. I'll send him an email.
Time is money.
Where are they building the playground?
You
this
know
week?
what? Well, not that I know of.
No, but you've got lead time on all of this.
You got lead time on stuff to buy, you got stuff like that. Then you got his extra time going out looking for another bid from somebody else that he goes out and does stuff with. I mean, they only cost a couple grand. So we have 128,000 instead of 130. That'd be perfectly justifiable.
I mean, what's costing them?
Time.
But if he's just making a call, I mean, that's what I mean, what's the 2,000, are they gonna charge us to give us a bid? Somebody else?
They're not gonna give us a bid. They give the bid to,
Are they going to charge R.E. Smith to give them a bid?
I have no idea. I doubt it. We don't get charged for bids. I think it works the other way around.
I'm not talking about the people bidding, I'm talking about the people that have to go out and try to find people to bid. They're doing extra work now. Let him do it.
Yes, I want to reemphasize this. This is highly irregular for us to pick a subcontractor for a general contractor. We have never done that before.
Except it sounds like we kind of already did. If we were the one that gave them the name, that's back to the Donna's point. If we were the one that gave them the name, here's the name of who we'd like to use. As
No, we did
playground.
not
We
say
did
that.
not
We
say
did not
that.
say that.
We did not say, here's who we
You
want to
said,
use.
but you gave them the design and
I
said,
gave them the
here's
design and said,
and
this is from
what this
Amco.
person did.
That's
Yeah, we
all
want
I did.
something like this.
And just by coincidence, they picked that. That's what I'm saying, when you walk through MML, there's playground people all over the place. So I can't believe that Ari Smith, who does a lot of projects, doesn't also have people that they deal with normally.
Now you're talking about R.E. Smith's company. We don't have any control over that. We can't tell them who to use. We have never told subcontractors who they can, or a contractor, who they can use.
Well, can we just reach out to Clint and ask if AFCO is the company they recommend, or if they have any other companies that they work with and
Absolutely.
they would recommend?
Absolutely.
Then that's my point. If we're picking this with our allowance, and I think you understand why, because we've got all these companies out there, and it just turns out that we're using the same people that we went to before, and we didn't bid anything out on. Is this the best deal? Or do we just nod and go along and pick one of these designs and say, go with it?
Having go out and look at something. See if there's anybody else out there that wants, tell him what the budget is. And don't tell him anything, just however they want to put anything out there, whatever they want to put out there.
That's what I'll do.
As long as it's all inclusive or whatever the term is. And then maybe they'll give us a little picture and it'll be a lot different than this. Okay, that was unfinished, right?
Yes, sir.
Any more comments on this? Jay, unfinished? Mark? New business, Holly?
No, sir.
Bob?
No, sir.
Rick?
No, sir.
Roger? I have nothing. Ladonna?
No.
Mike?
Yes, sir. I want to revisit road striping. We've talked about widening Angel Lee and Hodge and Ashmore there, and I know that that expense was a lot more than we wanted. Would it be possible to stripe about 60 feet from Pinnell on Angel Lee and then all those three entrances? The road width is a problem. We said turning in, cars turning in. And I don't think it would be such a problem if cars would come up to that intersection, as far over as
And not be in
possible.
the middle of the road?
And not be in the middle of the road.
Good idea.
And the road widening ultimately would be the ultimate fix to this problem. But if the cars would just kind of not be in the middle of the road. So if we could just possibly stripe Angel Lee's 21 in a little over 21 foot wide, and it doesn't even have to be centered, if we could stagger it a little bit off center and have 10 feet on the outbound lane and 11 and a half feet on the, inbound lane or something like that, just to kind of give cars that are pulling to the intersection an idea that not to pull into the middle of Angel Lee. I don't know if that's possible. I'm not asking to stripe the entire length of Angel Lee, but if you could just stripe 50 to 60 feet towards the intersection, I think we would solve most of our issues with cars being able to turn in while other cars are trying to pull out.
Probably Hodge and Angel Lee,
Hodge is even narrower, and so
do those two.
yeah, I think so.
I can see if I can find somebody that'll do that.
Or
At the same time, go out and get the curvy section on Briarbrook.
and again, I don't know if that's a
Roger
fix or
wants
not,
to-
or if that's an
Yeah.
idea, but I do think that would be a pretty good fix to the problem of cars not being able
Because
to
the
pull
street
into
lights are
Angel
out
Lee.
on that
And it's
section.
mostly because cars are not far over enough, which just a stripe there, a little bit of an indicator of where they need to be pulling up into that intersection.
Yeah, from Joplin Street into
That you come
walking
around the
trail.
curve and
Anyway.
I'll see if I can find that
Yeah.
company out of Oklahoma that we used last
You
time.
can, at night, you cannot see.
I feel like, I don't know how technical striping is, but
I don't
we're not asking for a lot, just a
Richard wanted to-
few dash
Yeah.
lines, 60 feet down the line,
Depends
like-
on whether you want to hold to the.
that's what I don't know. If that's
uniform
something,
Traffic.
if that's something that we
It's right
can do,
before.
or if that's
I know,
something
but
that has
how
to be
neat
done
is-
professionally. But
I think so. We'll just have somebody come in and do it.
and again, that's something we will look at. But I just thought as a solution, maybe, I think that would help.
I think you're right.
That's all I have.
Sometimes too, and this is maybe just, I feel like people pull too far up. They're almost in Pinell.
Stop, put
Yeah,
the stop
put
lines
a stop
on
line.
there too.
Stop line.
They
and
don't pay
just,
attention to those.
Yeah, they don't.
Look at traffic lights. People are always sitting there on the left turn lane. They can't figure out why the left turn light didn't come on because they're clear in front of the pressure bar. I'm sorry. I digress. You're done, Mike.
I'm done.
Bill.
No,
David.
no mayor.
Mr. Talley.
Just, if they put something in that is contrary to the standard traffic regulations on dividing roads, we're opening up the city.
Yeah, there is. I mean, they've got to use the right paint and they've
Okay,
got to
just-
make them the
That's-
right width, that type of thing, yes.
Okay. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your trying to save
Just,
a major lawsuit from the city. Elena. Crystal. Steve.
No, sir.
Jay.
Yes, sir.
Mark. Is there any other business before the, oh, well, nope, I take that back.
Yeah, there is.
Next on line is a closed session. God, I thought I was gonna get out of here. Closed session for revised Missouri statute 610-21-3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employees discussed or recorded. Can I hear a motion? And this will be a roll call vote to go into closed session. If you have a motion in a second.
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flynn, to go into closed session. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes. Bob McAfee.
Yes.
Rick Flynn.
Yes.
Roger Spencer.
Yes.
John Allen.
Yes.
Mike Burns.
Yes.
Bill McGuire.
yes.
David Cobb.
Yes.
We're now in closed session. We will be back when the closed session is over. If anyone wants to